Hey everybody, it's Jack from Stick's Vlog. I'm Stick, and today I want to talk a little bit more about my ZPacks Cuben Fiber Zero backpack. Now, a few months ago, some of you may remember I did a write-up as well as a video. Basically, it was an unboxing video on the backpack, and since then I've been able to use it a few times. I've taken it on the last 3 backpacking trips I've been on, and I've been really happy with it. I've ended up liking it more than I thought I would. Now I want to go ahead and say that when I bought this pack, this was the most minimalist backpack that I had yet to buy, and that's part of the reason why I want to do this video. There are a few things you'll see in just a little bit that I decided to leave off of this backpack, really because I wanted to make the backpack weigh as little as possible, but also because I wanted to try some new ways of packing things and of carrying things, and just try a new way of carrying my backpack and packing my pack. Just to kind of refresh you, this is the small version of the backpack. So just the backpack without the front pocket or anything itself is 1,500 cubic inches, or something like 24.5 liters. The only option as far as adding extra space to it that I added was this mesh front pocket. The mesh front pocket added about 0.7 ounces according to the website, but it did give me an extra 500 cubic inches of space. So altogether this backpack should be about 2,000 cubic inches. As you'll see, there is no side pockets on it. The top of it is just essentially a pull. You just pull the cord, cinches the top together. It's got a little cord lock on it, and then I just pull the cord down and I just do a little half hitch on this little loop that's sewn on the bottom of the pack. And that's pretty much how I keep my pack down. But anyway, that's all that I decided to add to the pack. Really was this front pocket. I will say I didn't want to add any side pockets because I found for me, I have a hard time reaching back and grabbing bottles out of the back or the side pockets on packs. It's just an unnatural and kind of an awkward feeling for me to try and twist around and to grab that water bottle out of the side pockets. So what I've become a fan of is just simply wearing my water bottles on my front straps. I like this method. I know there are some that don't, but so far I've really enjoyed using this method. All I do is basically attach a water bottle to my front strap, and I'll show you that here in a second. But I like it just simply because I can grab it right there. It's easy to grab. At first I was thinking that I would feel like the water bottle was hitting me in the face or in the chin or just in my field of view or something. It's not been a problem at all. Typically I carry Gatorade bottles. I will say that I started out carrying a single 32-ounce Gatorade bottle on one shoulder strap and nothing on the other shoulder strap. But I will say that since I've gone to the smaller pack, and like trip before last, my base pack weight was 3.99 pounds. So what I found out is that if I just hang a single 32-ounce Gatorade bottle on one shoulder strap, I can really tell a difference, because that 32-ounce Gatorade bottle was half the weight of the entire base pack weight contents of my pack. So on that trip was the first time that I used double 20-ounce bottles. I used one on each shoulder, and I really liked it. And that is one of the post additions that I made to this pack. I don't know how well you can see it here, but I got this idea from ULA. All it is just a bungee strap on the bottom, and it is a top strap. On this top strap I have a mitten hook, and it's tied to a cord with a loop on the end. And all I do is loop that around the bottle, then pull that cord or push that mitten hook up so that that's actually looped on the bottle, and then that mitten hook just attaches right onto the daisy chain. And this actually holds the bottle up, and then this just kind of steadies it so that it doesn't shake around, move around while I'm hiking. And I really like that style of method. So as you can see, I've added one to each shoulder strap. And I will say that after I've added both of these shock cords, as well as this top, or the top parts to the water bottle holders, it's added about an extra ounce, or 0.1 ounces to the total pack weight. Now I will say, real quick before I get too carried away with pack weight, whenever I unpacked this backpack, whenever it didn't have anything except for, of course, the front mesh pocket, and it did have these, it had 6 little tabs You can see we've got 2 on each side, then there's 1 on the bottom and 1 on the top. And those tabs are for holding a sleeping pad to the back. That way I can have access to it and I don't have to worry about packing it inside, and I can use it as a sitting pad while I'm hiking. But everything that it came with, just normal, that I ordered it with, came out to be 4 ounces. So if like I said, if I add in these 4 pieces for the water bottle straps, that brings the total up to 4.1 ounces. Now another thing that I decided to add was, talking about those straps, those side straps, you can see I just essentially took a piece of shock cord and I added some mitten hooks to it. And I just simply loop those around this side here. That way I can lay my back pad, or my sleeping pad, on the back, and then I can just strap this across it, take my mitten hook, and it will just simply attach to the one on the other side. And I do that with both of them. Saying that, both of these cords here have added another 0.1 ounces, so now my total pack weight, or my total weight for the backpack, is 4.2 ounces. And then the third thing that I added was my sternum strap. Now this is one of the things that I decided to leave off on the backpack. Part of my reason was because I do have a Blast 30 backpack, and the Blast 30 backpack has a sternum strap, so my thinking was I ain't going to use both of the packs at the same time. So if I want a sternum strap, I can just pull that sternum strap off of my Blast pack and put it on here. Well, after using the pack a few times, I kind of felt like I would really benefit, and I would really prefer to have a sternum strap, simply because it felt like the cuben fiber material was kind of sliding off my shoulders just a little bit. Also because it seemed to help actually provide a little bit of support and kind of make the weight feel different on my shoulders than what it did without the sternum strap. So I ended up buying some of the 1/2-inch nylon webbing, and I bought the little connectors and stuff from Joe at ZPacks, and I made another sternum strap and put on here, and that added 0.2 ounces. So now my total pack weight with the sternum strap, the water bottle holders, and the 2 shock cords for my sleeping pad straps, that brought the total weight up to 4.4 ounces. Now, saying that, the last thing that I left off of this pack, and this has been my biggest mod to the pack, because I've actually had to take what do they call it, a thread injector? Basically a sewing machine. I had to take a sewing machine to the pack. When I bought the pack, I decided that I didn't want a hip belt, just simply because I anticipated carrying such low weights in this. I wanted to try not using a hip belt. But I'm going to say, after I ordered it and I got the pack, I started kind of getting nervous and thinking to myself, what if I want a hip belt? You know, so I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it and thought about it, and I was trying to take the ultralight stance of it and think, how can I implement a hip belt and it also be a multi-purpose item? So what I got to thinking about was, when I bought my Blast pack, I also bought this multi-pack. Now I really like the multi-pack, and typically the way I'll use it is it comes with 2 straps, these 2 straps here, and these straps will basically hook onto the daisy chain on your shoulder straps, and then they have some connectors, just some little hooks here. Get a little bit closer. They have some connectors here, and you'll see that the multi-pack has all these little hooks attached to them, and then these will just simply attach to that. And then that is what holds the multi-pack in place, like so. This end of the strap would actually be attached to the backpack with this little connector here, and there's one on each end. I will connect that, so then I'm wearing my multi-pack. Now another cool feature of this multi-pack, it's called a multi-pack because you can use it in a number of different ways. I can use it as a chest pouch, as I just explained, but also it also comes with this hip belt. Now this hip belt can be attached. It's also got the same size connectors so that it will also attach into the same little buckles. And the idea behind this is you can connect this belt and you can wear this as a fanny pack, or you can wear it as a man purse, or a merce as my son calls it. So anyway, I got to thinking about this. So what I thought about is I can continue to keep these smaller buckles or these smaller straps attached to my shoulder packs, And while I'm hiking during the day, I could be using this multi-pack up here as a chest pouch. And then I needed to find a way to connect these to my backpack and use these as a hip belt. That way, whenever I got to camp or somewhere, if I wanted to, I could take these off of my backpack and then attach them to the multi-pack, and then I could still use this as just like a around camp little tote kind of thing. Or if I wanted to do some day hiking or stuff, I could just remove my hip belt from the backpack, unconnect these adapters here so that the multi-pack will be free from the shoulder straps on my backpack, and then just hook this up. Now also, if you're wondering, you can see here there's a bigger buckle, and that's what makes it act as a fanny pack. So because of this buckle and because of these small clips here, I thought that I could make it work. So I talked to Joe from ZPacks, and I asked Joe about using the same size buckles on my backpack so that I could just, just a quick attachment. I could quickly attach them on here using the same kind of clip, and then of course the bigger clip in the middle would actually serve as my middle buckle on my hip belt. And then, like I said, once I got to camp, I could just take it off and put it on there. So Joe told me, he said, sure, he said, if you want to try that, he said, send it back, I'll put you some straps on there. But he did warn me and tell me that there is a possibility that these little 1/2-inch buckles may not hold up the weight of the pack, so that he couldn't guarantee it. But he said he would be more than happy to do it, to make that attachment point if I wanted him to. So I braved up, and whenever I ordered the materials for my shoulder or my sternum strap, I also got some more of these buckles, and I thought that I would make my own attachment. So I have. You can see here, I have basically made a loop with the nylon, and I've put the female end, I've attached that on the loop, and then I've just sewed that onto the backpack, and I did that on both sides. So now what I can do here is I can take these and strap them in, or buckle them in, and now technically I've got a hip belt. And then of course it attaches in the middle. And of course I can make my adjustments to make it as small or big as I want to fit around my waist, to tighten it up as much as I want. Now each time that I've wore this, I had this in place. I will admit that because it's so dang hot here in the southeast, I didn't carry my multi-pack on my chest because it's so hot, and cuben fiber just makes it hotter. I'm not going to try to lie. The cuben fiber directly against my back, I sweat a ton. But then again, in near 100-degree temperatures, it's going to be hard not to, in my opinion. But I did, the 3 times I've carried this, I did have the hip belt in place. But I'm going to admit that on my first trip, there may have been a 30-minute period where I actually cinched this up and made it tight to where it's tight around my waist, so it would help take some of the pressure off my shoulders. But the rest of the time, I never used it. I would just hook it up around my belt, or I would, cinch it around my belt, but then I would loosen it up. There was absolutely no pressure. This was holding absolutely no weight whatsoever. So far, it's held really well. I don't see any sign that any stress is being shown to the pack. The area that I sewed it is it's a reinforced area. The cuben has been folded over a couple of times where he actually sewed the straps for the shoulder straps where they connect into. So it's a well reinforced area, but it doesn't look like it's showing any sign of wear or pressure. The buckles seem to be doing okay. So far I'm pretty happy about with what I've done. And as far as weight's concerned, the 2 buckles that I've added on, they're a permanent part of the backpack now unless they break. But they have added another 0.1 ounce to the backpack. So now the total weight of the backpack with everything other than this belt is 4.5 ounces. Now if I want to add in this belt is an extra 0.9 ounces. So that's going to bring me to a total of 5.4 ounces. So that's my modification and my update on my ZPacks Zero backpack. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to post them at the bottom of this video or on my blog page. And I'll do my best to get back to you and follow up with those. Until then, I appreciate you for watching, and I'll see you next time. See ya.